Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Stellaris, which just picked up a brand new expansion, Shadows of the Shroud, all about all sorts of exciting, sexy, psychic powers, which I'm not going to be talking about at all today, because I found something else in the new DLC I want to talk about instead. A rather fun new little mechanic that, yes, if used right, might just be a little bit cocky bananas, but okay, before we get into that, this here is a sponsored video because, yes indeed, once more, the Paradox Money Truck has been round at Many a True Nerd headquarters, and I find this one particularly hilarious because, yes, they are basically sending me a giant pile of money to talk about the new Psychic DLC, and I'm not even going to be talking about the Psychic stuff, that's just marvellous. But, okay, let's jump into, what I want to be talking about instead. Because, you see, if you just look past all the shiny razzmatazz of these psychic powers and whatnot, in the newest version of Stellaris, we've just gained something very new and exciting, which is a whole new way of waging war, because up to now, war in Stellaris has come with one very major downside, and that is, you've actually got to fight them. And then, all sorts of bad, messy stuff happens, like some of your own ships explode, and you've got to pay money to replace them. It all ends up being very expensive, very messy, and generally not optimal. So say hello to the brand new way of waging war. And that is proxy wars. Instead of fighting wars yourself, get other empires to attack each other, which I'd say sounds much flipping better. So that's what I've decided to focus on today, these new proxy wars, and as a result, I've set up an empire that's got a proxy war specialization built in through a brand new civic. So yes, as an influential cartel, I get to start proxy wars from day zero, and on top of that, for every proxy war that's active, I gain more and more unity. There's a few other bonuses as well, and we'll cover them as they become relevant, but yes, one of particular note is, I gain an additional diplomat. Which is important because proxy wars are a bit difficult to get going. Obviously tricking two empires into going to war with each other, that requires, a lot of diplomacy, lots of trust, lots of infiltration, etc, etc. So you're gonna be needing some extra diplomats to make it happen. Which is why, yes, I've done quite a bit of setup elsewhere in this empire to make that a bit more manageable. For example, this empire is fanatical xenophile, meaning we gain another 2 diplomats right there. Oh, and would you look at that, civic number 2, PR specialist, meaning another 2 as well. And also, it's much easier for us to improve relations with other empires. Trust cap goes up, etc, etc, so let's just say, yes, this could potentially go somewhere a little bit bananas. And that isn't all I want to show off today either, because, okay, I'm going to show you a really cool opening in Stellaris I've been tinkering with for some time here, mixing together a whole bunch of mechanics, new and old. So, we're going to be playing as a Megacorp here today, as you can already see, so obviously that syncs up nicely with Fanatical Xenophile, given they are both all about trade and whatnot. And on top of that, the people who live within the entirely trustworthy corporation, they are going to be individualist robots. So, their society looks a lot like an organic society, but they're actually machines. So, they don't eat food, and instead, they need energy to maintain themselves. And that's going to be important going forward. And seriously, individualistic machines are so powerful in Stellaris. It is slightly ridiculous. Because yeah, you could just take adaptive frames, meaning all of your populations just automatically mod themselves to be much better at whatever job they're doing. You just get a free bonus trait giving you even more job efficiency in a field of your choosing. For me, obviously trader, we're going all in on the trade. Then a couple of minor negatives we could deal with down the line in order to fund mass produced, because we need as many pops as possible, as fast as possible. And on top of that, I'm going for, yes, quite an old origin. In fact, this one's been in the game for a long time. Common ground. Basically meaning you get to start in a federation, and if you put all of these things together and blend them with the new population system in the current version of Stellaris, oh yeah, this is going to be one hell of an opening. So, welcome to our galaxy, and yes, unlike many games of Stellaris, we're not actually starting off alone. In fact, very much the opposite on this occasion. We've got 2 tiny empires nearby to us because, yes, this is our starting a federation right here. And on top of that, because we're specializing in proxy wars, immediately we get to see where our 2 nearest neighbors are. So, given I'm sitting on a slightly ridiculous 7 diplomats right now, may as well just send them off into the world to, you know, go and investigate, do a first contact, etc, etc. But okay, here's why I wanted to start in a federation, because obviously, given I'm a megacorp and whatnot, I'm very good at producing trade. In fact, it's pretty much what my entire empire is built to do. So right from the start of the game, we've got a big trade surplus. Brilliant! And if I just let time pass for a matter of flipping days, yes indeed, we've discovered there are aliens out there. In fact, we're already friends with 2 of them, so okay, whoever's writing these headlines are a tiny bit behind the times. But more importantly, basically on day 3 of the game, I get to say, immediately, you know what guys, let's be in a trade league. And the reason we want to do that is, just by virtue of having a trade league, like, you know, level 1, no investment in it whatsoever, straight away, we get access to the trade league trade policy. Which means, as opposed to 50% of our trade being converted into energy credits, 50% of our trade is now converted into energy credits, and also unity, and also consumer goods. You get all 3 at the same time. Normally you'd have to, invest into the mercantile tradition just to do any one of those 3 apart from energy. But yes, if you do it this way, you get the full trade league policy, and thus you get triple the value out of your trade, literally from day 3. So, at the start of the game we had, yes, a consumer goods surplus of 14, unity surplus of 19. Let's just get time ticking along and let the game update itself at the end of the month and whatnot. Right, so that's now jumped up to 28 and 33, and 33 unity, you know, at the start of the game. That's not bad at all, but that's only the flipping beginning. Because do not forget, we're now working under the new population and job system, meaning these days you start off with around 1,600 civilians in your empire on turn 1. So basically, a third of my entire population is just sitting there without a job. And right now, they're just generating, some amenities and a tiny bit of trade, but let's just say, yes, we want them to be doing more than that, and these days, oh bloody hell can you get your civilians doing more than that? And one of the ways we can get that going immediately is living standards. Because you see, if I move my population over to social welfare, civilians start producing unity. However, I also went for a single tiny bit of egalitarianism, and as a result, I've got access to utopian abundance, meaning my civilians are now producing both unity and also science, and also they've got 20% job efficiency, meaning presumably they're producing that level of unity, science, trades and amenities even cocking more efficiently, and all that really means is we need to give them more consumer goods. But like we just established, I'm swimming in consumer goods right now because my society generates giant piles of trade and trade gets converted right into consumer goods. So absolutely we're going to do that. So yes, right now we're on, 34 unity to 46 science, just to keep the time ticking along once again, please. And my science just exploded to 90 cocking 9. Oh yeah, this is one hell of a way to turbocharge your opening, and I want you to consider one other thing too. I deliberately chose to play as individualist robots in a megacorp, and because I'm playing as individualist robots, that means their upkeep is energy and consumer goods. And thanks to starting in a trade league, our trade converts straight into energy credits and consumer goods, meaning basically everyone in my empire is generating trade. But trade is converting straight back into energy and consumer goods, which is all my pops need to be happy, so oh yeah, this is gonna cocky work. And with my first tradition coming online, oh, we're just getting started, because absolutely, I'm going to be jumping straight into mercantile, so immediately, my traders are going to be a bit cheaper than they were. Beautiful. Though yes, as we go deeper and deeper into this tree, we're going to start generating more trade and more amenities from our civilians. The downside being, they're going to demand more consumer goods. But the amount they're going to demand is 0.1. But every point of trade is worth 0.5 of consumer goods, so yes, basically this is just a complete win for me. Still, for the time being, let's focus on, yes, the important thing, which is blocking off our own friends from expanding before they block us from expanding. So, Yeah, by the looks of it, you over here, you just expand in this direction. You over here, you can expand downwards, but I'm having these directions, okay? And more importantly, we've started meeting the neighbours, so hello over there, gigantic brain creature. Here we go, these are the guys up here, so, right. What I want to do immediately is begin infiltrating them, but you know, in a nice, friendly, chill way. Because I'm sitting on 10 million diplomats, that means I can basically just send my people to go and make everybody in the galaxy love me. This guy seems pretty chill anyway, so you know, we'll just get a nice embassy down on his planet, and not going to be a problem at all. And on top of that, I just finished my first tradition tree, meaning for my first ascension perk, I'm gonna go for universal transactions, meaning I can now propose commercial pacts to everybody, and they don't cost influence to maintain anymore. So we now have the ability to just form commercial pacts with everybody. Now we just need to, you know, persuade them that they want to. And all we need for that is positive relations or 20 trust. But funny old thing, there is no rule whatsoever saying you can't send all of your diplomats to the same cocky planets. So given they've not got anything else to do right now, what I'm gonna do is send 3 diplomats over to this guy to start charming him incredibly cocking fast. And even more importantly, right, this is one of the exciting sexy things I get for choosing the proxy war civic, which is, rather than regular factions, I get secret societies. So you see, instead of boring a unity or whatnot, these factions generate very interesting modifiers that affect how easily I can infiltrate another society. So, operation speed, if I need to do things all sneakily. Diplomatic weight, not bad at all. But of most interest, the Grand Dance faction that increases trust growth by 79% when I've barely even done anything for these guys. So, as a result of that, yes, other empires are going to come round to liking me basically twice as fast. So honestly, yes, just to keep sending additional diplomats over to these guys up north, that is fine. We're learning more and more about them in a hurry. And we've got another neighbour down south as well. And you, sir, are a megacorp, so okay. Possibly, you know, with a little bit of schmoozing, we could bring you into our federation. Oh, and speaking of me being a megacorp, of course, don't forget, thanks to the fact I literally start next to 2 people that cocking love me, but who are not themselves megacorps, there's nothing to stop me immediately snapping down a branch office, and it's not even that expensive, given, yes, I've taken a universal transaction, so get that built immediately, and because I took, yes, a PR specialist and whatnot, here we flipping go. Every time I build a PR firm, I get another 200 trader jobs back in my home system. And meanwhile, just up the road, there we go. We've now moved over in like no time whatsoever to a positive relationship with these guys next door. We barely met each other, but they love us because we just sent 10 million diplomats over in their direction. And as a result, we can now form a commercial pact, and this is critical. Because commercial pacts, being as they are a type of diplomatic agreement, boost trust. Alright, step 1, you boost the relationship, you use that to make agreements, and you use agreement to boost trust. And normally you wouldn't be able to do that, because, you know, every agreement costs influence, and you need that to expand. But for me, thanks to universal transactions, commercial pacts are free. So, basically, I want to make a commercial pact with everyone in the galaxy, meaning trust is going to start ticking up in a hurry. And when I say in a hurry, yes, the commercial pact should be worth 0.25 trust, the MC 0.1, but the Grand Dance faction has already gone up to 164% boost to trust growth. So, yeah, these guys are going to trust us in no time whatsoever. The point is, though, this guy is now kind of locked in. We've got the embassy, we've got the commercial pact, he already likes us, meaning we could take those diplomats who were charming him away and send them somewhere else instead. And this is what we're gonna do. Every time we discover a new empire, I just send like 5 diplomats over there to charm them, And it doesn't matter how much they hate me, how much we disagree on everything, they will charm that empire, enough that I could push through a commercial pact and an embassy. And once that's done, we just let time tick along. And not that much time, thanks to the bonus to trust growth I get off my shadow factions. Oh, and we're not done yet either. Tradition number 2 is going to be diplomacy. Okay, number 1, I can increase the number of diplomats even further, because obviously 7 isn't enough. No. We need way more than that. 8 would do nicely. Speaking of which, down over here. Right, you're up to friendly 2, so we could do a commercial pact for you, buddy. So as a result, trust is already at 10. That's going to start going up much faster. The Grand Dance is just getting more and more powerful too. Oh, better and better, our trade league has just leveled up. So, as a result of that, would you believe I've got more diplomats now? Obviously, 8 wasn't enough. No, 9 is much better. And I tell you what, another 5% trade doesn't hurt either. Oh, and speaking of diplomacy, by the way, yes, as we go deeper into that, we can also increase the trust cap. So yes, we can just stack more trust on top of trust. And the trust growth can just be another 33% too. Because why not, quite frankly? Oh, and speaking of diplomacy once again, sorry I forgot about this, we've not been spending our edict fund. And because we've gone down the diplomatic route, sorry, did I say 9 diplomats was enough? No, 10. 10 would be excellent. But this here is where the fun begins, because we've just made contact with, yes, what would appear to be a big block of empires just next door. Looks like there might be some sort of federation going on, but we just don't know. So, okay, how about we go and turn that around immediately? I'm gonna say, given we've currently got 9 diplomats available, I swear it was 10 a minute ago. Does anyone know where one of them went? We've lost a diplomat somewhere, but don't worry about it. We're going to send 3 diplomats to each of these brand new empires. Also, hilariously, as a result of investing in diplomacy, yes, we're just sort of picking up favours with everyone we send our diplomats over to. And that's literally cocking everyone, like our diplomats are just being sent to any empire anywhere nearby to us. So we're just going to be swimming in favours with everybody. Oh yeah, the brain lads up here, they owe us 4 favours already. And this is the hilarious thing about this build. These snails are, you know, very militaristic. They weren't sure about us in the slightest, but it just doesn't matter. I've tossed so many diplomats at them, they've just come round immediately. What we're functionally looking at here is, yes, an empire where it's kind of impossible for the AI to dislike you, because if it looks like they might be disliking you, you could just toss 10 diplomats at them, and as a result, they'll like you. And if they like you, they're not going to go to war with you, meaning you're kind of safe from any form of attack. Oh, a perfect flipping timing, because I know what you're thinking. Okay, John, that's fine for, like, you know, regular individualistic empires or something, but what about, you know, hive minds or killbot swarms? You can't just charm and trade with them. And as we go over to my old friends, the determined exterminators of the Zero Index, funny old thing, I don't actually have to, because a sufficiently high level of infiltration delivered via a spy network, that works just fine for proxy wars too. And there we go. Barely any time later, and now these new guys who previously were not sure about me are just knocking down my door, begging for commercial packs. Oh, and funnily enough, we do also have the council agenda that lets us, yes, further increase trust growth by up to another 100%, and because we are also a proper PR firm and whatnot, we can also increase, you know, the rate at which our diplomats are doing their work improving relations, so, oh yeah, basically everyone in the galaxy has no choice but to love us. So as a result of that, say the Snivelet Friendship, our old friends who we've just run into nearby, the trust with them is rising by about 2 every single cocking month. And that basically means, within, like, you know, a year or so, they're gonna hit 75 trust with us. And there we go, 75. And that is a very, very critical number. Because that means I can basically say, hey, you know those honor-bound warrior snails next door? They said that your noses look really cocking stupid. And as a result, the Snivelet Friendship, because they trust us so much, will go and attack the snails, and all it costs me is 60 bloody influence. However, I can't but notice the snails have got a pretty bloody big fleet, so they'd probably win that fight. But that's fine, because Corinth, my older friends, those snails said your big sticky outy brains look stupid as well. And though they're probably not going to get involved, yes, the flipping, megacult that's all the way down here, they could get involved too, why not? They said you look stupid as well. And there we go. Everyone has now officially declared war on these guys. And that's great, because every single time I start a proxy war, that generates a unity for me. Now, hilariously, the only cost is these guys trusting me drops by a certain amount. But it's going up again by 2 every month. So, before the war's even over, we'll be back up to trust cap. Like, they do not care about this. I could just basically make these guys go to war over and over again forever. And hilariously, because I've got so much good intel off, trade, relationships, etc, etc, I just get to chill out back here and basically watch this war happening, and immediately, yes, the Corinthian fleet has moved in and started attacking various stations, planets, and... Blimey, you've got a world of theirs under occupation already. This is going very well. Now, I will admit, our proxy war has run into a tiny bit of an issue, which is, it's not one war. It's 3 different wars, because these guys were not allied with each other. So, the Snivelet Friendship have decided to peace out, having lost a handful of systems. But in a way, that's a very good thing, because the Snivelet Friendship, who previously had a stronger fleet than me, have now got basically no fleet at all. Like, overall, they're now doing much worse than me. And despite the fact I just tossed them into, a war that they lost for no reason, they still love me. And they still trust me, so... Guys, how would you feel about new arrangements? Oh yeah, I could integrate them right now. But honestly, I don't even really see the point, like there's no reason for me to have them as a subsidiary. But yeah, basically, if I start a proxy war, you can't not win. If you set a whole bunch of people on someone you don't like, either the person you don't like dies, in which case they're not there anymore, or alternatively, the people you do like, they're now much weaker, and thus you can, vassalize them, attack them yourself, and bring them into your federation way more bloody easily, so... No, seriously, this is gonna get patched. There's no way Paradox is letting this stay as strong as it is. So, speaking of which, given I'm just cocking swimming in favours with everybody right now, let's just get the Snivelet Friendship signed up to being an associate member of our federation. And as for the megacorp next door, by the way, once again, we can just use our giant pile of favours to push through basically anything we want. So, okay, we'd like you to join the federation, good sir, and everyone else is probably going to vote for it, I assume. And there we go. We've got a brand new member in the federation. Beautiful, though. Okay. Kind of looks like, yes, the Snivelet Friendship have been vassalized by the Corinthians. But that's fine, because, yeah, we could just keep the Corinthian suites and ultimately bring them in, and they'll bring the Snivelet Friendship along too. Oh, and naturally, as we hit essential perk number 3, given we're robots, we're going for the synthetic age. And on this occasion, as opposed to virtuality, which I went for last time we played Stellaris, I want to go for modularity on this occasion. Because yes, modularity is basically about modifying ourselves into super robots. Kicking off with my worker robots, generating a lot more stuff, beautiful. Though yes, the real sexy stuff occurs as we go a bit deeper down the tray. Oh, that reminds me, I'm supposed to be starting proxy wars, aren't I? So, okay, snail people over here, you could get attacked by the Romans, and the Almeta Syndicate is over here too. I don't even know who the Pact of Snotolitvish are, but apparently they love me enough that they will just go to war if I say they should. So, you guys attack the Almeta Syndicate. Oh, and I've just discovered something even more hilarious, by the way, which is... Yes, the Snifflet Friendship were recently vassalized by the Corinthians, which was annoying because I was planning to bring them into my federation. But because the Snifflet Friendship love me so much, I could just tell them to just rise up and fight for their independence, and they'll flipping do it. Meanwhile, back in modularity, oh yeah, a big increase in the rate of mechanical pop assembly. Oh, and this is bloody weird. My Federation wants to go to war with some robots down south or whatnot, and I mean, I guess I'm not going to stop them or anything. Like, you guys could go and do war if you want to, though really you don't have to anymore. I've discovered a far more elegant solution to that whole business. Oh, more good news, by the way, which is the galactic community is formed, and it turns out I'm the most influential person in the galaxy. Like, twice as influential as the person in second place. The only reason that's true, however, is because I'm getting, yes, nearly a 200% modifier to my diplomatic weight, exclusively from the Masquerade faction. I've been completely ignoring these guys this entire time, but, okay, as it turns out, they're going to allow me single-handedly to dominate the galactic community for the rest of the game. Oh, back in the modularity tree, here we flipping go. We now pick up advanced tools, allowing me to, yes, have more species trait picks and more machine modification points, and on top of that, advanced traits. And some of these advanced perks are slightly silly, like, you know, habitability plus 30%, good stuff. What I'm gonna do, though, is, yes, introduce a little bit of biomatter into my robot. So there's going to be some food upkeep that we're introducing, but that's fine, we could just do a little bit of farming. But as a result of that, roboticist job efficiency goes up at 50%. This is basically just a huge increase in how fast we can get out more robots. And then what I'm gonna do is, yes, introduce a new negative trait, bulky, so pop housing usage goes up at 10%, but I'm gonna use that to fund monoform, which immediately makes pop housing usage go down 80%, and also another 20% to mechanical pop assembly speed. So, okay, basically, yes, we can now mass-produce robots at a ridiculous rate, and they use no housing. So, let's just move the entire population over to FriendBot V2. Though this does mean, yes, we're gonna need, like, a farm or something. It's a new idea, but sure, we'll give it a go. Oh, and things have worked out perfectly down south as well, which is, yes, thanks to the fact we got the Snifflet Friendship to rise up against the Corinthians, they declared independence, or rather, the Corinthians couldn't be bothered trying to stop them being independent, and I think, like, a matter of seconds later, yes, Orbis customer synergies decided to lock them down as a new vassal, so, indirectly, they are now part of the Federation. Just as an update, by the way, now that, yes, the galaxy's filled out a bit on account of the galactic community, meaning we're all in touch with each other, yes, as it turns out, basically, everybody's really chill with me, all things considered. There are a couple of people who don't like me, that's literally a xenophobe fallen empire down there, but yes, basically, pretty much everyone in the galaxy thinks I'm cocky great, even though I am the source of pretty much every war that keeps mysteriously breaking out for no reason. Oh, and here we go, because yes, there's one other very sexy thing I'd like to talk about today, and that is the corporate culture site, or the monument, if you're like, you know, in a not megacorp empire, and you may have been wondering why I haven't already built this thing, and it's because, yes, these days it's locked behind tech, and there's a bloody good reason it's now locked behind tech, and no longer available on day one. What the monument does, of course, is, yes, one, produce a bit of unity, depending on how many ascension perks you've got, but on top of that, it modifies what your civilians do, depending on the ethics of your empire. So, because I'm a bit egalitarian, they're going to produce a little bit of trade. And that's lovely because, do bear in mind, I've just turned my pop production rate up to a slightly ludicrous level, so basically every planet is swimming in giant piles of civilians. But what's much more interesting is Xenophile. If you're Xenophile, or Fanatic Xenophile, then what you get instead is a pop upkeep reduction, i.e. the amount it costs to maintain your pops goes down as a percentage for every civilian. But that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because that would imply, if you could just stack enough civilians on one single planet, That would mean, in theory, you could reduce their upkeep down to like minus 90%, which I believe is the absolute cap. You can't actually reduce upkeep to 0, as sad as that is. So as a result of that, what I've now got is, yes, over on the planet of Friendship, 900 civilians sitting there, generating a bit of science, a bit of unity, and 80 trade, which, you know, I will remind you, converts into like 40 energy, 40 consumer goods, and 40 unity as well, which is spectacular. But also, they're reducing the upkeep over themselves and everyone else on the planet by 6%. But as we just stack more and more civilians, every single one of them is gonna get cheaper and cheaper to maintain. Oh, meanwhile, in excellent political news, I am now once again the president of my federation, because we just take turns, okay? Everybody gets a go every 20 years. But now I am president again, I've decided we're gonna be making some changes. For example, previously, everybody got one vote. And I've decided, no actually, we're going over to a diplomatic vote-weight system. So whoever's got the most diplomatic weight, they get the most say in decisions going forwards. Which is highly convenient because yes, I've got more diplomatic weight than basically everyone else in the galaxy. So, new voting system, guys. How about now, the person that gets to be president is whoever the strongest is. Now, you may notice that nobody else wants that, because they've realised this is basically me just seizing power. Unfortunately, I've got enough diplomatic weight all by myself to just win. I don't actually need any of their votes anymore, so we're just gonna put that to a vote right now. And as a result of me voting yes, that automatically passes. Speaking of which, this whole succession thing, where we check every 20 years who ought to actually be running the Federation. How about we say instead, whoever the president is right now, it might be me, who knows, we just keep it that way until someone significantly overtakes them, which no one ever will. So once again, we'll put that to a vote. I vote yes, everybody else votes no, and it passes anyway. Plus, on top of that, I think, yes, the president will be deciding when to declare war, the president will be deciding who gets to be a member, basically, oh, it's good to be me. So okay, that's this federation now under my control, but let's just say, yes, I've got my sights set a bit higher than that. Because using my ridiculous amount of diplomatic weight, I've managed to force a form Galactic Council up to the top of the Senate's agenda. So, we'll get to that in just a second, but first, however, the Corinthians, who right now, yes, are feeling a bit battered because, would you believe it, they just keep getting sucked into random wars, who knows who's to blame for that, and they're not even 100% sure about joining our federation. Unless, of course, I just toss favours that they owe me at them until they basically agree they're going to do that. Brilliant! So we've just eaten this bit of the galaxy, that now belongs to me as well. And the Mega Cup down here, you control these two empires as vassals, so by virtue of controlling you, I control them as well. So, right, I now basically own a third of the galaxy. Oh, and there we go, the Galactic Council is now on the floor, and you know what? Some people not so keen on this. They may have realised what I'm trying to do. But that's fine, because I'm sitting on so many cooking favours right now, that I could just, yes, boost my diplomatic weight up to 17,000 and... oh yeah, let's just form a nice galactic council, guys. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it, it's a council. There's going to be multiple people on it. You don't need to worry about me in the slightest. Oh, and would you look at that, there's about to be a council, and... oh dear, I can't help but notice that, yes, I appear to have more diplomatic weight than everyone else on the council put together, and don't worry about it, guys, you can trust me, I'm not going to do anything dodgy. Still, for the time being, yeah, my power is coming from the economy and population, so as a result of that, all I need to do is back any amendment that increases diplomatic weight from economy. I also can't help but notice that, yes, the only people who could reasonably stand in my way at this point would be the Maganon Interstellar Republic. So, okay, that's you guys over here, isn't it? So, what if, let's just, say random thing that could actually happen right now. Here we go, what if everyone attacked you at the same time? Oh yeah, I can't help but notice that a large part of your diplomatic weight, buddy, is coming from your fleet power. So if we just, send literally everyone in the galaxy to go and smash that up a little bit, oh, that is gonna collapse, my friends. Fun update, by the way, we're now up to 5,000 civilians on this world, and as a result, the actual pop-up keep has gone down by 44% off the back of those guys, but also, there's some other bits and pieces reducing pop-up keep as well. Meaning we're now in a situation where civilians, people who literally do not have jobs to work, are producing 12 trade while only costing me 1.6 energy and 1.6 consumer goods. Bearing in mind that trade is generating 6 energy and 6 consumer goods. So basically, yes, every civilian I shove onto this planet is just becoming more and more profitable. They are just generating huge amounts of unity for free. Meanwhile, I'm going to be honest, I thought it was going to be, a little bit more difficult to persuade everyone to just declare me dictator of the universe, but, as it turns out, quite a few people are willing to consider doing that, and, okay, we just need to, slightly push this over the line here. Because here we go, I am swimming in favours right now, and as a result of that, yes, I could just call in every single one of those favours, which immediately boosts that proposition up to 69,000 in terms of, yes, backing. So, right, let's get that on the floor and discuss making me God King of the Universe. I do need to stress, by the way, the year is barely past 2300, we're a century into the game, and this is the amount of territory I control. Oh, I'm having great fun with this nonsense. So okay, on the floor it goes, and basically, yes, everybody likes me so much, they're actively willing to vote me as Emperor of the Universe. And here we go. Despite, yes, the second most influential empire in the galaxy voting against me, and for very good reason, it doesn't fucking matter. Because apparently, I just get to be the galactic custodian. Meaning I can just support a trade, set up gigantic fleets, all the rest of it, and obviously, over time, I could just decide to slightly extend my current reign. Together with just literally backing any reform that suits me. So this one gives diplomatic weight from pops, and I've got a huge number of pops, so, okay, at this point, yes, I am pretty much unstoppable. As soon as I have a more diplomatic weight than everybody else put together, at that point, yes, I could just vote for anything. And I'm already basically bloody there. So, in conclusion, a third of the galaxy I control through my federation, and the remainder I control as the galactic custodian, so, okay, it's possible the civic may need to be slightly toned down a bit. Because the only reason I'm able to do this is because, yes, I'm gaining 600% to diplomatic weight out of this faction, and also a 2000% bonus to trust growth out of the other, so that might be a tiny bit excessive, yes. Still, having basically seized control of the entire galaxy within a century, how about we wrap things up there? This here is Stellaris with the brand new Shadows of the Shroud expansion, and okay, I can't deny, proxy wars are absolutely hilarious, though it's possible they may be a tiny bit too good right now. But yes, what more can I say about Stellaris at this point? I love this game, and it just keeps getting weirder and wackier and more wonderful with every update. As always, well worth a look-see, link in the description below, and oh yeah, I have no doubt whatsoever, as we gain more and more expansions, we'll be back in future to have another look-see as well, though when we do, I strongly suspect that yes, this particular civic and proxy wars in general, they might just have had, a tiny bit of work done to them, because I suspect they're not supposed to be quite this bloody good. So hopefully you join me next time for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been the delightful Stellaris. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
This is the face of death, okay? This is what my sudden death looks like. Do not engage before we arrive. Do not engage. What are you doing? I specifically said don't. Oh no.
No, John.
Oh, he likes that. The Romans touched me.